Adams State College. Great stories begin here.
Let me express to you how delighted I am to be here to share these moments with you. I want to thank my host, Dr. David, and his lovely wife. This, I think, is my fourth week at least being on the circuit. And I've met some wonderful people in all the places I've been. And I also have to make a correction. I want to do this. Ed is so organized, I really don't want to depreciate what he said. He said I was at my church, I'm still a full-time pastor, but I've been there since 1959. What he didn't tell you is that I'm the best pastor my church has ever had. Because if the truth be told, I'm the only pastor. I am in my 50th year as pastor of Montgomery Church. Last week I was in Philadelphia and had the opportunity to worship at another church by the name of Monumental. I didn't know that until they invited me to come. I spend as much time as I can. Oh, wait a minute, I have another thing I have to do. I am a preacher. And I preach sometimes. When a preacher gets it going, I mean really going, he sets a rhythm. And that rhythm is there, and he really goes over it. But when he does that, there's an empty space that needs to be filled. It's an empty space. And so I need your help on the empty space. Each time that I drink some water, there's that space. I need you to say, "Go ahead, Pastor." That fills the space, and I can jump back into my rhythm and keep going. All right, just let me get an idea. I spend as much time as I can with young people, because what I know is much sooner than we think they're going to be running everything that we're doing as adults. No matter how well we do it, we will not do it always. Your generation is coming, and we need to have some sense of what this world is going to do and going to be like. That internet is so powerful. We've hooked up the world. You won't just be running your neighborhood or your community. You will be in charge of the world. The world. You will be running it. And I want you to do a good job at running it. Time's going to go so quickly. It's going to move so quickly. You will wonder what happened and how did it get here so fast. They say there are 6 billion people in the world. 6 billion people in the world. But there's only one you. You're the only you God made. There's not another one anywhere. You're the only you. That makes you very special. You are special. Some things you're really going to have to deal with. The environment. My generation messed it up. They knew they were messing it up. But they did it anyway. Greed. Just greed. And it's something you'll have to deal with. It would never have occurred to me in my life that I'd have to buy water. You don't buy water, you just get water, get it out of the sky. And there's no point in saying how they mess it up. That's beyond the point now. They knew they were messing up the streams. They knew they were all the things that we should not have been doing. They were doing. You're going to have. The other thing you're going to have to do, and I have every confidence that you're going to do it, you will find ways of settling international disputes without going to war. You're smart enough. You're bright enough for that. Those are just some of the things that you will be confronted with. And I have one more I need to add. Don't privatize Social Security because I'm getting But you are special. You're very special. I want to talk about dreamers. Dreamers make the world go around. They're not bound by glass ceilings or anything else. They're dreamers. Martin Luther King taught us to dream. In the midst of all kinds of conditions, he taught us to dream. Langston Hughes, the poet, says, "Hold fast to your dreams, for if dreams die, you are like a broken-winged bird that cannot fly." So hold fast to your dreams. Dreamers, they hear things others do not hear. They feel things others do not feel. They are dreamers. Last year, I hadn't counted it this year, but last year I traveled over 17,000 miles and didn't leave the country, speaking at different occasions, on different occasions. 17,000 miles. The only way I could do that was by airplane. Suppose the Wright brothers had given up on that plane. They're dreamers. They kept right on dreaming. They failed and they could get up and do it again. I traveled 17,000 miles. But don't think that people are going to embrace your dream because they know you. I call those people dream busters. Dream busters are still here. They're all over the place. Hold fast to your dream. All of us have dreams. Some have lost their dream, and I urge you to hurry and recapture that dream. Write that book. Design those clothes. Some dreamers say to you, some dream busters say to you, have you been to the bookstore lately? All those books in the bookstore, what makes you think your book is going to sell? Because I wrote it. It's my book. It's going to sell. Hold fast to your dreams. For if dreams die, you are like a broken winged bird that cannot fly. What do you think when the Wright brothers said to their friends? Guess what? We're going to invent an airplane. Yeah, you want to do what? We're going to invent an airplane. You high on something now, I don't know what it is. Yes. 17,000 miles by air. Another dream, I had a little thing in my pocket. It ran down, so I had to charge it up. But someone was in the room back there, and someone was in the room back there, and they said, we're going to talk to each other. You think we're going to talk to each other through the walls? Get out of here. Alexander Graham Bell wouldn't give up. Not only do you talk through the walls, you talk around the world on a little gadget about that size. Hold fast to your dreams. For if dreams die, you are like a broken-winged bird that cannot fly. Suppose they had given up. Because they did not give up, man has placed his footprints on the moon. The senior members of my church say kindly to me, Pastor, you know these things been on footprints on the moon. What you talking about? Not the moon. I don't try to convince them. Oh, yes, they have. It's astonishing. It's mind-boggling. Hold fast to your dreams, for your dreams die. You're like broken-winged birds that cannot fly. Excuse me? Of course, my ancestors had dreams. Oh, come on, Kyles. Slaves didn't have dreams. Oh, yes, they did. You hear it in the music. Trouble here, trouble there, trouble everywhere. But I'm so glad trouble ain't got to last always. Hold fast to your dream. Hold fast to it. It's yours. My ancestors dreamed that their children would become doctors and lawyers and preachers and teachers and astronauts and things I can't even pronounce. Astrophysicists. That, in spite of the fact that it was illegal for them to know how to read. Can you imagine that? The only trouble white people got in regarding slaves was teaching them how to read. And it did get in trouble teaching them how to read. Teaching them how could you say learning to read is illegal? It's illegal. Yet, they didn't lose their dream. They kept right on dreaming that one day, that day would come where one of the sons of my ancestors would be sitting in the seat of power known as the White House. Hold fast to your dreams. For if dreams die, you are like a broken-winged bird that cannot fly. It's illegal to know how to read. In spite of that, in less than 150 years, we have an African-American president. Hold fast to your dreams. There have only been 3 holidays in honor of individuals. George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, and Martin Luther King Jr. And it does not matter what your politics may be, you got to deal with the holiday because ain't no mail delivery, the post office is closed. Banks closed. Most schools closed. In less than 150 years. All that was put on them, all the horror. Slavery was a horrible thing. But I also want to show the other side. It survived, my ancestors survived everything that was put upon them. Everything. There was nothing that was put upon them that they didn't survive. Hold fast to your dreams. For if dreams die, you are like broken-winged birds that cannot fly. They survived everything that was good. Never stopped with dreaming. They kept right on dreaming. Don't give up on your dream. Hold fast to that dream. Nobody has a right to outgive your dream. It's yours. It's yours. Excuse me. garbage workers have dreams? Oh, come on, Kyles. Garbage workers don't do anything but just take out the garbage that we've thrown away. They went on strike in Memphis because they were treated so badly. They could work a whole month and still qualify for welfare. If it rained, they didn't get paid. They didn't work. White drivers worked, they got paid. They had no working benefits. They'd take those tubs, African style, and put it on their heads, take their garbage out of their backyard, and put it on the truck as many times as they needed to. There's a sign that went around the country. It didn't say peace, it didn't say freedom, it didn't say justice. All it said was, I am a man. Because they were treated so much less. Yes, they had dreams. I was speaking in Philadelphia once, not too long ago. A young African American woman came up to me and said, Reverend Kyles, may I shake your hand? I'm a judge here in Philadelphia. I am in my 3rd term. I'm from Memphis. And she said it just like this. She said, I'm from Memphis, and my daddy is a garbage man. Yes, they had dreams. They never stopped dreaming. So the community came to their support. We did all kinds of things. Raised money. Collected clothing. One of them said to me, Reverend Kyles, you don't think that we're not grateful for what you do, but I had a coat to fit me since I've been a grown man. I have had shoes to fit me. They aren't my size. I just get the closest size to my feet. If they would pay me the wage that I do, I could buy my own clothes. Yes, they have dreams. When you really get a rally going, you know when it's time to send Martin Luther King. We had a rally really going. He came, made a speech, led a march, and that march broke up in violence, and he was so hurt. Broke up in violence, and he just hurt him so badly. He said, we've got to go back to Memphis and have a peaceful march. So April 4th, April 3rd, he came into Memphis to lead the march. The speech we know as the mountaintop speech almost didn't happen. There were tornado warnings that night. There were tornado watches that night. There was thunder and lightning and raining. And he thought there wouldn't be many people at the church. So he sent several of us over to the church. He said, you guys go over and have the meeting. I'll go to the motel and work on the poor people's campaign. When we got to the church, it was nearly full. Abernathy walked in. Abernathy was his vice president. Mr. Jackson walked in. I walked in. Andy Young walked in. And the people started clapping. They were clapping. Abernathy's preacher said, these people ain't clapping for us. They think Martin coming in behind us. And they did. Abernathy said, I ain't making no speech. So he went to the phone and called Martin. He said, man, you should get over here. These people have come in the weather to hear you. He said, if you think I need to come, I'll come. We almost missed the mountaintop speech. Hold fast to his dreams. When dreams die, you're like broken-winged birds that cannot fly. That night, Abernathy introduced Martin without knowing it would be the last introduction he would make of his friend. He introduced him fully for 20 minutes. And the odd thing about that is, nobody said a word. In our tradition, we know how to get the introducer out of the way. Somebody's going to say, amen, brother, amen, amen, amen. That means sit down and get out the way, you ain't the speaker. nobody said a word. Not one word. We had no way of knowing that would be the last speech he would make in this life. No way. Martin Teets, when he got up, he said, I thought about that night I wasn't going to make a speech. But he did. And thank goodness that he did. Hold fast to your dreams, for dreams die. You are like broken winged birds that cannot fly. Mark talked about death that night more than I heard him talk about it in a good while. He talked about the plane that he came from Atlanta to Memphis in had been under guard all night because there had been so many death threats against his life. They had put bomb squad dogs and all that just so he could fly to Memphis without any of us knowing that would be the last time he would come into Memphis. Hold fast to your dreams, for your dreams die. He talked about the demented woman who stabbed him in his chest with a letter opener. He said he got greetings from all over the world, but he does not remember what they said. He does remember a teenage girl writing, Dear Dr. King, I read about your misfortune and I'm so sorry. The New York Times said the blade of the letter opener was so close to your aorta that if you had sneezed, you would have drowned in your own blood. And she put at the bottom, I'm so glad you didn't sneeze. And he picked up on that and did a whole litany. And I'm glad I didn't sneeze. If I had sneezed, I would have missed the Selma to Montgomery March. If I had sneezed, I would have missed the young people sitting in all over the South for their rights. If I had sneezed, I would have missed a chance to tell America and the world about a dream I had one August day in Washington, D.C. And he went on and on and on about what he would have missed had he sneezed. By that time, we were on our feet. We were crying. We didn't know why we were crying. We had no way of knowing that would be the last speech of his life. No way of knowing. Hold fast to your dreams. For if dreams die, you're like broken winged birds that cannot fly. He held fast. I'm glad I didn't sneeze. I'm glad I didn't sneeze. I'm glad I didn't sneeze. I'm not worried tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I may not get there with you, but you will get to the promised land. God has allowed me to go up on the mountain, and I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. He was talking to us. He was talking to us. I've been to the mountaintop. I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there. He really meant I won't get there. He just wouldn't put that burden on us. But he said, I may not get there with you, knowing full well he would not get there with us. He said, I'm not fearing anything. My eyes have seen the coming of the glory of the Lord. And we had to help him to his seat with no knowledge of what he was speaking beyond death. The next day he was all right. It is as if he preached himself through the fear of death. He got out of it. He's just not going to deal with it. He knew his time was short. He didn't know when, didn't know where, but he knew it was coming. And to the extent that you can be prepared, he was prepared for it. He was jovial. He and Andy Young got in a little fight. I told him dinner was at 5 o'clock. He called the house They told him dinner was at 6. So when I went to pick him up at 5 at the motel, he said, dinner is not until 6, and I'm in no hurry. Take a seat. So I took a seat. That gave me the wonderful privilege to spend the last hour of his life on earth. 3 preachers in a room. Abernathy, King, and Kyles. And of the 3, I am the only one left. And so the press and others will ask, what did 3 preachers do in the room for an hour? I said, we talk preacher talk. They said, what's preacher talk? I said, whatever preachers talk about is preacher talk. All right, watch out. Thank you so much. It was like 3 guys hanging out. We weren't in prayer and meditation because we didn't know that was the last hour. Martin loved jokes. He said, the preacher can't tell a good joke, don't worry with it, because he can't preach either. I sat in that chair. About 5:45, we stepped out on the balcony, Gordon and I. The courtyard was full of people. He was greeted and rang out, "Kabam!" I looked back. He had been knocked on the railing back onto the floor. I rushed to his side. There was a gaping hole in the right side of his face. There was a bigger wound under his shirt. I couldn't see the wound, but I could see all the blood gushing from the wound. I was doing what needed to be done. I was doing it for functionality. I thought I was having a nightmare, but the nightmare was I was awake. I went in the room to get the phone to call an ambulance. The operator heard the shot. She came out from the ground. She looked up and saw Martin Luther King on the balcony. She had a heart attack. She died a few days later. She was the motel owner's wife. By that time, the police were coming and stopped people from coming. I was beating on the wall saying, answer the phone, answer the phone, answer the phone. And of course she couldn't, because she had fallen. It was incredible. This is not happening. This is not happening. The police will come. I hollered to them, call an ambulance on the police radio. Dr. King has been shot. And they said, where did the shot come from? So there's a famous picture was pointing to the building across the street where the shot came from. The ambulance got there. I told them what hospital to take him to. And they did. We waited, and we waited, and we waited. I wondered, a good deal of soul searching, why was I there? All the places I could have been, all the places he could have been, why was I there at that moment in time? And over the years, God revealed to me while I was there. Crucifixions have to have witnesses. And so I was there to be a witness, and an honest witness, because a lying witness is dangerous. A lying witness is awfully dangerous. A witness who has information and won't share it is of no consequence. Why was I there? God revealed to me that I was there to be that witness. And that's what I do. Martin Luther King didn't die some foolish, untoward way. He didn't overdose. He was a was shot by a jealous lover. He was shot leaving the scene of a crime. Here's a man with an earned PhD degree at 28, a Nobel Peace Prize, the youngest at that time to ever get one. All the things it could have been. UN ambassador, university president, with his skills, all the things it could have been. And yet he dies on a balcony in Memphis, Tennessee, helping garbage workers. And they said, we will shoot this dreamer and see what happens to his dream. That's where the witness comes in again. Yes, unfortunately, I'm sad to tell you, yes, you can kill the dreamer. But hurriedly, I tell you, absolutely not. No, you cannot kill the dream. The dream is still alive. The dream is still alive. The dream is still alive. Thank you very, very much. Thank you so much. For flash to the dream, and the dream time will not broken